Hi, good evening, everybody. So sorry about the late start. I did post in Scrapbookers. I didn't have my needed supplies. Hi, April. And April, your kit should be there soon. Because of the 4th of July, I'm sure the mail got pushed back. So I have what I need. And so I'm a little unorganized. Thank you for putting up with that because let me tell you, when you go on a crafting cruise for a week, your brain is mush when you get home. So I'm just pulling my pieces and parts out that are part of the kit so I can get to the paper. Then we can get started. Plus, I had to get my favorite ergo bone folder we have at Scrapbookers because I lost mine on the ship. I do take that off because it will come off. Okay. I am set. If you have the Be Happy kit, then you have the petite print assortments, you have the solid texture cardstock, and then you have a collection kit. Now remember, this one only has, and you have your binder and ribbon. You have the collection kit. There's only 6 sheets, and you get 2 each. So I'm going to put my sticker sheet aside, and then you'll have 2 sheets. You should have 3 sheets of all the papers. So what I'm going to do is, I have a crazy dog behind me. I am going to start by, one thing I need to post. I'm going to post the cardstock, the white and the black. We're not going to cut those on camera. Right now, I'm just going to sort through here, and I'm going to take one sheet. So you'll want to open your collection kit. Then you'll have one sheet extra of all the other papers. And I'm just taking one. Oh my goodness. And you know what? Oh, you guys, I'm just batting a million here. I didn't grab a 6x8 paper pad. Oh goodness. I am sorry. I am so unprepared. Oh my goodness. Coming back from, I'm staying home. Let me tell you. All right. I'm going to sort those out. I have one set of all the papers here, 2 there, and I'm going to double check and see if I don't have an extra 6x8, and I do not. That's okay, because that's what it is. You double check one more place. Sometimes I have one, but I don't. All righty. What we're going to do then, we're going to work what we have tonight, and then we'll go from there. Oh, April, you were so sweet. Thank you, guys. Well, we're live again tomorrow night. Everything will be here. And I'm going to right now pop on over to Scrapbookers. I want to grab the cutting guide for your white and your black cardstock. We may end up cutting it together, but that is something that you really can do. Whoops. But I'm going to go into, so if you're not on Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations on Facebook, you'll want to join. And I could have swore I posted that for you guys today. But I can grab it from here. And I promise, my brain will get back to gear here. It's still just not here yet. Okay. I did do a walkthrough of the album today. So the whole thing was there. Let me try this one more thing. Oh my gosh, I cannot get it to post. Okay, well, we're just going to take it one step at a time here because technology and my computer's probably thinking, what are you doing back here? It won't let me copy and paste from my Word document. I can't quite see it, so I don't know. Tiffany, so I'm going to try this again. Let me try posting it over here. Control V. Well, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Okay, one more time. We're going to try this because it's picking up what I'm typing, but it's not putting it on. Okay, let's do it this way. Copy. Maybe I can't use my control buttons. Maybe it doesn't like that anymore. And well, it doesn't want to let me copy and paste anything from anywhere. Okay. We are starting the tutorial. And I can't say the words. Oh, here we go. I just found where I posted it on Facebook. So if you're just joining us, this is live, and when it records, you can go ahead and fast forward from all this nonsense. There we go. I got it. Now it's going to jumble it up though. So I apologize. I did stick it there, but it is all jumbled, and now it's going to put it all through. So the best place to get this is over on Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations. And if you're not on Facebook in that group, please let me know. I can email the document to you. But we'll go from here. Yeah, it jumbled it. So ignore it. I'll get it written better for you guys. Okay, so let's see about starting because we can definitely we can start. I'm just going through. I want to double check some places where I've used the 6x8 paper pad. And it's not too big of a deal, except for we're making our other album. And so, I'll pull them out as we're going. So what we're going to do is we'll start here, and we're going to put our book in order. So the first thing that I want you to do is to open your album, and let's go ahead and take out our plastic sleeves. I did the walkthrough today, and I had explained I used all of these, I think, except for the dividers. It has been a little bit since I made this album. So we're going to put our pockets there. We're going to take out our green ones, set those over by our pockets. Now, these dividers that are tabbed, they're very nice, but they're very heavy. That is the one thing I did not use all of. There's just no way. Okay. So when you look at your tabs, I used the top one, the middle one, and the last one. So we can take out these two in the center. And then one thing that you can do with these, and which I'm getting quite a pile of, but if you have a way to cut this off, you can use these for mini albums covers. They're big and heavy. They're really heavy. So we'll just set those aside because we're not going to use those. And I'm actually going to start at the back of my album, putting the pages in, because it just lays better. And I like to put it in order before we start. So we're going to start with our very last page, and you're going to take one of your full size 6x8s. Get my tabs over here. Okay, so we have that. And then our next one is going to be, which is considered page, I did 20 pages in here, more than I've ever done. We're going to grab, we have a 4x6 at the top. We have 2 3x4s at the bottom. I said these two I usually take out, and I thought, nope, we're going to use them. We're going to see if we can use everything. Pocket, it gets really thick though. Pocket page. Then our next one is a 6x8 sleeve, and it's the full sleeve. And then our green divider. Oh, thank you, Monica. Well, we're getting ready to get them changed because we're home from the cruise. After the green, so on top of there, you have the 3x4s. There's 4 of those. The divider that has the tab at the bottom. Oops, we're stuck there. Then we want the plastic sleeve with the 2 4x6, 4x6, 4x6. You'll notice if you haven't ever worked with the Doodle Bugs, you have a vertical and a horizontal. So you have 2 of each. So our next one is going to be the vertical, but I'm turning it upside down. So this is going to be the solid front when you open your page, and then this is going to be on the back side this time. It's not on the front side, it is on the back side. And that one is the vertical pocket. Okay, then we want, our next one is another 6x8 sleeve. Then we want one of the green dividers. Four by six, 4x6. That's going to be our next pocket sleeve that goes there. Then we want the center tab there. And then right on top, we want the second vertical pocket. This time it will be what we consider the front of the page. 6x8. Horizontal pocket page. We have the 4x6 and the 2 3x4s. Those will go on the bottom. Then our green divider. 3x4s will be our next one. That's our last sleeve, pocket sleeve. Then we have our divider here. And you do have this one left, but we are creating a flap with this. Okay, so now that puts our book in order. And right now you're thinking, we can use all those. It won't be thick until you start making it. And then it becomes very thick. But I thought, I'm going to do it. We're not taking anything out. So let's start and let's build the implements. What I mean by that is if there was a flap or anything like that, then we're going to go ahead and build it right now. So you will want to grab in your kit your black and your white 65-pound cardstock. Now in your kit, there were 10 blacks and 10 whites. So I'm going to count those out right now. Some will be used for the chipboard album and some will be used for here. Well, look at that. I grabbed 10. Okay. That's part of our kit, and then we will be putting that onto our album. So we can just go ahead and turn this first page over. Our 3x4s. Turn that one over. And we're going to start here. So what I like to do is take the page out that I'm working on and leave that like so. And I'm going to use one of our black 65-pound cardstocks. I'll just leave that in for now. And I want to cut this at 6 inches. So we're going to create that trifold that will sit inside of the pocket. We're going to have to do just a little scoring here with the 12-inch across the top. I want you to score at 4 and 8. Now, as we're working, I will go through that. Some of our black and some of our white, we are going to use the textured cardstock that coordinates with this collection. So I'll let you know, though, when we use those. So I'm going to just fold this backwards. Burnish. Just accordion fold. And I chose to use the 65-pound because we're going to mat. We don't want it to be too heavy. And it's going to go in the top. So you'll want to pull that right out to add your photos. So for right now, we're just going to put that back into our little space here. There we go. Your pocket will stretch out. And we'll just put that back in its place. So go ahead and take out your horizontal pocket. Because we are going to create this flap. Sorry. And we're going to use that second piece of the black that we just cut. And we're going to cut our little flap to, it's going to be the 6 inches. And it's 6 by 5.5 because we needed room for our pocket to put our cute little tags in. And the full walkthrough, hi Tina, the full walkthrough I did this morning on my YouTube here. And then I'm going to use the angles. So for this little book, because it reminds me of the honeycombs, so I used the corner rounder. And we are going to put that on the front of this pocket. So the other half, we're going to cut this at 5.5. Diane, that's probably a smart thing, because if you're just now joining, of course I was late. I didn't get what I needed at the warehouse. And then I came back without my 6 by 8 paper pad. Okay, so it's 6 inches across. I'm going to use the larger corner angle, and you don't have to. If you don't have one, you can just leave it straight. 5.5 across the top, and we want to score this at 1/2 inch. Julie, right now there's not. I think we can make some. I need to just check with the warehouse tomorrow. Doodlebug ran out of this. They are reordering. It's probably another 3 weeks before it gets here. But I do have, we have plenty of supply. So I do believe we can make some. And I will get the girls on that tomorrow. And we will, so watch the website. They don't get into the warehouse till 11 Mountain Standard Time. And then I will have them make, we'll see how many more kits we can make. Okay. This is just going to be attached to the top, and I come to the outside edge. But, well, stay back about 1/8 of an inch, but you need to make sure you don't cover your holes. And then we're going to use our adhesive and glue this down. And you get to listen to Wilbur serenading us in the background. Okay, I turn mine upside down. Leave just about 1/8 of an inch or so. Just in room for the holes. Sorry, I'm off camera for a second. I couldn't see where I was putting that. And then see, that leaves room for our tags, and it will hold our flap completely closed. And that looks crooked. Okay. Turn the page and make sure. Nope, that's good. Let's go ahead and put that one back in. And we'll just keep going here to, whoops, I put something in wrong. Hold on, let me go through. Actually, it's a combination of patriotic and the ship. Because I thought, well, I need cruise and I need 4th of July because I didn't make it to an appointment for that. So this is correct. This is correct. Okay, that is correct. This is not correct. Oh, yes, this is correct. Oh, that's what threw me off. Okay, that's where we're going to use. So I'm going to take this one out. I'm going to take this one out, which is considered page 8. So I can show you. This is where we used this one. So page 8 is going to sit right on top of here. Isn't that cute? But we're not going to cut it. We are just going to score this little guy right here. So I'm going to measure between the holes over, and it's one. Oh, no, it's not. It ended up being scored at 1 1.25, because we do have to get past, you know, that's the only thing. Until we start matting these, they do warp just a little bit. Okay. You know how it just always looks a little different? But it is. That's what it is. 1 1/4. Okay. Hi, Christina. So I'm going to go ahead and score this one at 1 1/4. So you'll have to push just a little harder. Now, I did cut this. Hold on just 1 second. So it looks like I did take a 1/2 inch off. I sure did. So the scoring's correct. But we want to take a 1/2 inch off now from this side. Yeah. So I'll turn it so the holes are away from me, and we'll just cut 1/2 inch off. Perfect. And I'll use my angle cutter. Oh, that's really cool, Diane. That's quite a historic place. Okay. I'm going to fold it and burnish it both ways. And then we are going to attach. There we go. Attach it right to the top of our heavy piece here. Oh, goodness. Can you guys tell I'm out of practice? Too many days not crafting. Just going to lay it there, line it up, and it should line up perfect. Make sure no glue comes through. And I do use a piece of our honeycomb yellow we will be putting a strip there because it just made it look more finished. Okay, so that is going to be that page. And then on the back, we won't build our little pocket yet until we get some scraps. Okay, that's our 4x6. And our next one that we want to build on is going to be the green divider. So I'll take this one out so I can show you. We're going to use our textured cardstock in yellow. And we're going to create this little flap. And our little flap, we're going to open our paper here in a minute, is going to be 6 inches by 7 inches. Try not to get the noise in the camera. This is from our Be Happy Solid. And then you have a couple of different yellows. We use them all. I think pretty close, but we have kind of graduates to a dark, medium. So I took the lightest. Now it's too hot. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut a 6 by 7 inch piece. The important thing about when we make this album, because I am recording your chipboard album, is not to use anything other than what I'm using, because you're going to need it for the album also. So again, this is 6 by 7. So I kind of do it reverse. I'm cutting mine at 5 so I don't have to open my sleeve. And then I'll have my 2 pieces. So I am going to angle the corners, and I'm going to also angle the corners on the divider piece. Give it that honeycomb look. Okay, 6 inches across the top, and let's score this at 1/2 inch. Holes to the left, and we're going to just put this between the top and bottom, about what, 3/4 of an inch it looks like, top and bottom. If you want to, not, yeah, it is. It's going to be 3/4. Yep, 3/4 of an inch. When are you making the album from scratch? For CS? Remind me, which one's CS? Because I did do a scratch one. RJ, you got to help me here, though. I don't know what CS is. Right now, with we've had so many projects, I can't think here. So CS, I'm looking around. It wouldn't be that one. I don't know what it is. Right now, I'm surrounded by albums. Oh, is that with card? Okay, but you got to tell me which 49 and Market, because there was the baby, there's the wedding. And some of them, okay, yeah, cardstock. I just don't know which paper collection. because I did the wedding in the chipboard album, and that's a great design. In fact, I still have it. That is a great design to use for any of the 49 and Mark. And this tutorial is on my YouTube, and then you can actually follow the wedding one because we even made the flip outs. So whichever design of 49 and Market cardstock you want to use. In fact, this is now almost like one of my favorites. Album designs. Remember, I showed we decorated it as we did the wedding. But this is going to be a great one for baby. Come on, what was the what was the baby one we just finished before I went on this cruise? Little Celebrations. No, yeah. My gosh, you guys. So this one is already on my YouTube. It's the wedding one, and it's a great one to use. Great size, everything for that. But I am doing. We've got the new 49 and Market that just got delivered as I was leaving, so that one's not going to come to the first of. Well, Little Dreamers, that will be a great one from the wedding to use for Little Dreamers. Because you guys, I'm doing like a tutorial a week. I've been doing, so yeah, they're all coming, trust me, but it's just between now and September, but we're getting them. Yes, we have the ones coming up with their brand new papers, but it's not till the end of July, 1st of August. So, and I think Jacqueline did post those because we got to finish these first. Okay, into our book these go. We're going to flip that over. Go ahead and flip that one over. Now we want the next pocket. Now this is the pocket. Yes, I'm doing one for Little Celebrations. That's the name of it. I could not figure that name out. Yes, we're doing Little Celebrations, Nature's Haven, and the Ocean. But I've already shown the brown album that I'll be using. Okay, this one, super cute. We're going to create this little pocket, and we're going to use the middle yellow. Then we're going to have a flap. Now, I did use a magnet here. So, you don't have to, though. I probably won't this time, so I can show you how well it works with that one, too. So, I need to grab the cutting guide for the little pockets. So I just wrote that up this morning. Okay, let's get out the next yellow, which is, it's going to be your medium yellow. Jewel, me too. Me too. I'm trying to decide, do I sleep or do I just make albums for you guys? And I love making albums. Yeah, it's the medium one. Yeah, me three, guys. Me three. I'll get working on it, though. Trust me. Okay, we've got this that came from our texture cardstock. And we want a 4.5 by 8. I'll just cut it backwards. So 4.5 by 8. I know, me too. I can't wait to play with the Nature's Haven. It's sitting upstairs. It's waiting for me, and I just cannot wait. Then we're going to go ahead and cut this while we're at it. It's that beautiful. It should have been called Tiffany's Teal. Doesn't it remind you of Tiffany? That's her favorite color. Yeah, those are coming at the end of the month. Oh, isn't it cute, Jen? So it's this teal. And I want you to cut a 5 inches. And I think I cut this longer. So it's going to be 5 inches by 8 1/8. This is a new one. I gave my other one away on the cruise, and so this one I haven't broke in yet. So 5 inches by 8 1/8. Okay, let's get some scoring done. Start with my teal with the 5 inch across the top, and I'm going to score. You can score it 1/2 inch or 4 1/2 inch, whichever is easiest for you. Now on this little guy, let me get my measurement. It's 4 1/2 by 8. So 4 1/2 inches across the top, and we're going to score it 1/2 inch or 4 inches. So depends on what side of your scoreboard you like to use. Then I'm going to turn it to the 8 inch side across the top, and we are going to score it 2 1/2 and just go right through that score line. So let's start with our Tiffany blue. Hi, Janice. Oh, Diane, this is, well, do you love, I usually use my brown Stampin' Up. And thanks to a couple of our one of our members, oh, I haven't even taken the plastic off. This is our spellbinder, or the spellbinders. We carry this. It's just like the Stampin' Up one. In fact, it's made by them. So I'm so happy I could bring them in because we can have the blades now for you guys to purchase. And on camera, it's my favorite. It's so lightweight. In fact, one of the ladies from Canada on the cruise, I gave her mine because she can see it so well. And this one has a covering. She has, I believe she's blind in one eye. And so she has a hard time seeing those dark colors. Yeah, you have to peel off well, I peel it off because it takes the glare away. And I'm just showing you, I just opened this, so you'll peel that off. But she could see it really well. So I know it works if you have trouble seeing your lines. And I sent mine home with her. I'm like, I can't really, shipping to Canada can be tricky. And I wanted her to have what she needed. Okay, let's go ahead and cut these corners. And grab the insert with pocket on the back side. So we're working with the solid piece on the front. And this is just going to go along the edge. And it's going to be about 1/8 of an inch shorter top and bottom. Now, after I make the little flip pocket, I can decide if I want a magnet. Because I did use it on the original. Okay, set that aside. Now let's go ahead and furnish the 1/2 inch score line. Actually, so one side has textured, one side really isn't. So I didn't watch that, but we cover it with paper so you don't notice. For me, my texture now is going to be on the back because I need my hinges to be on the left. But my textured is going to come up on the front, on the pocket, But again, we mat it so you really don't see that. So that's the only thing. I wouldn't worry about the textured. Now we have this score line that goes all the way down, but we're going to cut it up. We want the bottom left on. That's going to create our little pocket. But you know what? No, I cut that off. Never mind. Never mind. We are not. We're cutting the bottom off. It's just a tuck pocket. Like I said, I made this a month ago. Okay, we're going to cut this bottom piece off. Leave the top on. We need that. So the top, I'm just going to do a little bit of an angle. So you can also use your cutter. Now for the rest of it, I put it here on my 1/2 inch because it's a 1/2 inch gore line, and just cut it on up. I'm going to fold it. There we go. So it stays nice. Hinge to the back side, and then we will round or however you like, but you'll want to punch those out because it takes it away from this edge. So if you have a corner rounder, whichever you like, I would definitely punch them. But we have to mat this before we put the glue on our little tuck pocket, so we're not going to do that yet. But I am going to do the top. I'm going to fold my hinge back. We're just going to go through both layers. And then I can go ahead and trim that off. So like I said, right now, we don't want to glue that down, but I'm going to take some temporary. This is just our easy ground runner. And I'll just fold that over. So it stays out of my way. Hinge to the back, and we're going to attach this. Now, the one thing about this, we want to have our 6x8 piece of paper. So I'm not going to attach this down because this is from the 6x8 paper pad, I'm pretty sure. And I will have that next time I'm on. But so I don't want to glue this down yet. So you can either use a paper clip and just clip it here. I'm just going to use my temporary to show you how it looks, because I wrapped it behind. I wrap it behind the matting. You know, you want the paper on top of it, but we don't know how far it goes over because it's 6x8. So until I get my 6x8 paper pad, I'm just going to temporarily pop it down. Okay. Now, if you want a magnet, once we get the matting, then you'll put it on the back of here and on the front, or you can just let the weight of the cardstock. This does have a magnet, but I do think it'd be fine if you don't want to use a magnet. Okay. And then the back side will be a little pocket. So we can go ahead and put that back into the book for now. Close my, starting to get thick. Okay, so we can skip past that one. And this is our little belly band that we're going to create. And it has the acetate in the center. And so we want 2 pieces of cardstock. And they don't have to be exact. I mean, they're 1 1/4 by 6. So 1 1/4 and 2 inches. And they're both going to be 6 inches long. So I'm just going to start by cutting a 2-inch strip. And then for this, you're going to want something that is a little bit stronger, like your red line tape. I'm going to use the blue dots. And for right now, I'm just going to cut my first cut at 2 inches for my black 12 by 12. And then my first one will be, oh, you know what? I cut these at 5 7/8. No, I did not. I cut them at 6. That's the other book. So we've got a 6-inch by 2-inch. Then we have a 6-inch by 1 1/4. Then we're going to get our acetate out of our kit. And we are going to cut a 1 3/4 by 6. Now their acetate is heavy. I love it. And then you can decide, do you want the gold side or the silver side? I use the gold. And we'll cut 1 3/4 by 6. And we are creating this, but we're not going to put it down again. So one thing is, this will sit at the top. And I'm just going in about 1/4 inch because I wanted that cute little honeycomb to show. And I'll be honest with you, wait a minute, the dots aren't going to be the best. Let me grab my red line tape. Well, maybe I've got to have it, so. I'm coming back, guys, I promise. Well, I took it with me on the cruise, and I haven't unpacked everything. I know, craft supplies. So I am going to use this because I don't have another roll of red line. It's in a suitcase somewhere or a box. Okay, well, we're getting that unpacked tomorrow. So I'm going to use this, the dots. Yeah, your red line would be probably a little bit easier. Let me see if I can get some contrast here. There we go. So I want my gold showing. And what I'm going to do is be very careful here. So red line would be a lot easier, but we're going to do this. You know, I feel like a beginning crafter this week because I've been gone. But I'll get back in the swing of things. I'm not going to draw a straight line because I know me. The line won't be straight. But I'm keeping it towards the top. We're just going to walk those little dots. Okay. So just across the top, you'll put your tape. Yes, it is a booger to see. It's about 1/4 inch.
Looks like, let's see if I got that on straight. No, I did not. Well, you guys, I'm not doing so hot. There we go. I think we got it. Now for me, because of the way I've done this instead of with red line tape, when we go to mat this, because we're not putting it down until we put our matting down, but when I go to mat this, I will put a piece of cardstock probably over here, and this is crooked, so actually it's coming off anyway. So go ahead and you can add your, if you have your red line, I just think it will hold better, but you can use score tape. Then we're going to put the bottom one about 1/4 of an inch up. I did get it off there, so see, these dots work really well, but it's coming off because I don't like how crooked it is. But that's how we're going to put that on. So I will have this on for next time, and that's not going to hurt nothing when I go to put the tape on top. So for that page, I'm just going to put these in the book here. So I have to redo it anyway. I have these huge rolls of red line tape. I just don't know where they're hiding on me. And I'll recut my 1 1/4 inch piece. Okay, so at least we know that's where that's going to go. So this little guy, we're going to take him out. Have we really only been live for like 40 minutes? Wow. The holes are on this side. And we are going to score this. Actually, let's turn it over so the holes are to the right. And then I want you to score it at 2.5. Put that over, because this is going to be a pocket. Okay, now the holes are to the left. We're going to actually cut this, and I did cut it at 3 inches. So with my ruler, or you can use your scoreboard. I'll turn it over this way. I'm going to make a tick mark at 3 inches. So what I did is I went from this corner down to the 3 inches. I have glue dots all over me now. And I don't score with mine. That's your scoring blade. Okay. So from the crease corner to the 3 inch mark. Don't worry, it doesn't have to be perfect, because it'll look perfect however you cut it. But keep your crease right there. Now, after we mat the inside, I glue the bottom down, but we won't do that right now because we want to get our matting down so that it'll be easier to mat the inside of our little pocket. And then we'll have just a little bookmark that will fit inside there. Okay, so that one goes in the book. And let's see, what else did we build on? I think that is all of the building. That's all the building that we have to do on there. So let's go ahead and let's see how much we can get cut. Now, the white matting for your and the black matting for your photos, again, that's over on Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations, right here. Because I did do the double matting. And I will get the sizes up here, hopefully better when we're done. Okay, so I'm going to have to kind of check things out where I don't have my 6x8 pad. And I can already tell you we did some of this one, yeah, with the 6x8 pad. So this whole thing actually is done with our 6x8 pad. So I really, if you're just joining us, oh my gosh, you guys, we just came off the crafting cruise. You know what, Janice? I use these Fiskars. They're quilting rulers. And actually, I need a new one. Let me show you. You guys are going to think I'm crazy. So I get these like at Hobby Lobby. I don't carry them. Fiskars is, yeah, they're kind of weird to carry. But you can buy them in the fabric stores. When they're on sale, I buy them. The reason many of you have seen me, you've got a 1 inch, they're 2 inches wide. So down the center, it is kind of a centering ruler, this one. The orange is kind of hard to see, to be honest with you, but I still love them. It does center, but you can pick them up at Hobby Lobby. They're the Fiskars, and they also have their own brand that's yellow. And then you've got a 1 inch down the center that's black. So that I like. But I use this one mostly. This is just my little 1 incher. But you see these black lines down the centers? Those are 1/4 inches. So if you've quilted, you know how great those are. And this is my great big one when I'm doing bigger things. Because you've got, again, see these markings? Get here. You've got 1 inch, 1 inch, and 1 inch. And then I find, for me, they work better. So they are Fiskars. And again, you can pick them up when they have them on sale at Hobby Lobby. And this is the baby one. But it's not a centering ruler. So if you love centering rulers, well, those aren't it. Okay, guys. I'm thinking that until I get my 6x8 pad, and so many of you know that I kind of messed up and I don't have a 6x8 paper pad. So we really have to have it. So what I'm going to do instead, tomorrow night, it will be here and we can do all this matting. But we're going to go ahead and cut the black and the white matting because I've only been online not even an hour. So tomorrow, same time, but I won't be late. I'll have our 6x8 paper pad. And then we can go through. The matting won't take us long at all. So we're going to go ahead and cut these black and these white mats. And we're going to get those out of the way. So I'm going to kind of pop my paper back over here. I'm going to get my sizes for the photo mats. And we're just going to cut those together. There we go. These are the same measurements that I put on Scrapbookers. Okay, so let's just start with our white ones. You can use a pencil if you want and lightly, write on your photo mats. So you guys, how many of you ever go on vacation, you come back and just feel like, wow, I'm just out of sync here. Okay, so let's go into our white photo mats. And I will just go down the list, the exact same order I put them on scrapbookers. And then these will be done. All right, so our first one, that's pretty heavy. Okay, our first cut is going to be 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. Oh boy, I do. I feel so backwards. So 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. Now, on my list, I want you to know I went page by page. So as I'm doing these, I'm going to flip it upside down because that should put them pretty much in the order that I'm going to be pulling them. Okay, so now we are going to cut 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to start with my 2 3/4 and just throw these little pieces away as we go, and that way you won't have a bunch on your desk. By 3 3/4. I don't think that's quite, so I know we'll be using that. And I'll just do the top one. And I'll cut 7 more and then paper clip those together. Okay. So I'm going to cut my, actually I'm going to cut the 3 3/4 first. And then 2 3/4. I need 7 more. Oh, you're right, Tian. It's 10. Thank you. Yeah, I just saw my note. It says 10. I don't know why I said 8. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need 5 more. And let's see, one more. So let me look down my list here real quick because I'll cut it at 3 3/4. Then I can get my other sizes out of there. Okay, we just cut 10, 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. So if you have a clip, go ahead and clip those together. And then I put the measurement on the top one. Now, of course, these aren't in order. I mean, but I put them all together, and they're the more regular size that we're going to use throughout. That's why just put them right on top, because we know our first one though we pull will come from that stack. Then we're going to do 3 4 by 6s. So we'll save him for later. And the same with 4 by 6. Of course, they're used on different pages, but we will be using a 4 by 6 first, and then so we'll pull from the pile. And then I'll cut 6 by 4. Oops. I thought something was crooked there. Okay, our next size is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and we want 2 of those. These are just our little squares, 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And our next one is 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. So we want 4 of those. And I'm just seeing what I can get out of here. Probably just one. Okay. Okay, we need 3 more of those. So I cut my 3 3/4 first, and then we'll cut 5 3/4 twice. So we'll cut another 3 3/4 and a 5 3/4. I know this is the boring part. Hi, Sandy, but you know what? You get this done and it just makes it go so much quicker. Then we only have to worry about the ones I miss when we're doing the tutorial. It does happen. Okay, I'm going to take these little guys here because we want 2 by 2 3/4, and we want 4 of those. Let me check something. That looks kind of skinny. Let's see if it was in there. Can't imagine it'd be this far back yet, but those look really skinny. And I have to tell you, oh, okay. I think, no, I did not miss that. So these are the ones. So maybe that is the correct size. Let's just double check, guys. Okay, it's right. They're just little guys. And we want 4 of those. Cut 2 of these at 2. This does slide better when you take the plastic off. I need to do that tonight because it doesn't want to move. So if you bought this and you find it's not moving, it's because you got to take that plastic off. These are little guys. Okay, so our next cut is a 4x4. Oh, I had that. I could have used. That's okay. One 4x4. And then, oh wait, let's see. How long is this one? Because we have a 4. That's not quite our length. So we want a 4 1/4 by 8 1/4. Oh yeah, you know what? I figured it out on the cruise that you got to take that plastic off. And then 8 1/4. So while we have everything out, let's just go ahead and score this in half so it'll fit in our pile better. And we want to score this at 4 1/8. So it's just a little flip up for our 4x4 card. I don't have to mark that because I can tell what that one is. Okay, now we want 2 3x4s. Four 1/8 by 8 1/4. What did I say? And then you scored at 4 1/8. Oh, did I? Wait a minute. Did I cut mine too wide? Oh, yeah, it's 4 1/8. I cut mine at 4 1/4. Thank you. I would have just had to trim it down. It is just here. I'll get you the link, but it's the Spellbinders paper cutter. Okay, there we go. Because this is going to have a 4x4 card. And so you don't want too much hanging over the edge. Yeah, when you're on the website, let me just go ahead and pull up. If you go to Tools, no, if you go to Collections, and then you click on Spellbinders, and it's down towards the bottom, but let me get you the link. Let me see if it'll let me post it. Oh, it let me post the link. It's the Spellbinders 12-inch paper trimmer and scorer. Okay, so back to our 3x4s. I already cut that up 4. Yep. 3x4 and another 3x4. Oh yeah, you'll love it. And it's lightweight, so you can carry it. I still love my big dolly. I just don't have room here on the desk while I'm doing the tutorials. So I've really gotten into the habit of using this. Now, if I need something, you know, straightened up or chipboard and I need to cut more than one sheet at a time, I use my big dolly cutter because it's my most favorite. 1 3.5x4. But do take the plastic off. See, it will be easy to peel once you get it started. And then your paper will move so much better. Oh, really? Well, you know, things get molded. So it is easy to see that things can happen. So we did a 4 by 3.5. Did I do a 4? Yes, I did. Okay, we need 1 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. Won't do it. So I'm going to skip over that 2 3/4 for just a second, and I'm going to cut my 4 by 5. We need 1 4 by 5, and put that there for a minute. Let me see. Then I'll cut my 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And we need a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. This one. You know, there's people that just love the Fiskars, but I'll tell you what, don't even get me started because I have never had one that cut straight. Okay, our next couple of pieces I took it out of the textured, and I'm going to tell you why I took it out of the textured. So I did mark it, but we don't have to take it out of the textured. I took it out of the textured because I used the white up on the album. So here's what I'm going to suggest you do, because I'm just going to keep cutting all of my mats from my white cardstock, and then I'll use this one as my backup. So don't worry. You won't, it doesn't really show, you don't see a lot of the texture, but I did put down that I'd cut it from there. So if you cut it, that's fine too. There are some photo mats where the texture does show, like right here. I really liked the texture showing, but and that was the 3 by 4. So you can either wait, you will have scraps, not a problem, or you can just go ahead and cut it from there now. But we do use that, like I said, throughout the book, but it's not like one of those main, oh my gosh, if I don't have it, I can't make my book make, does that make sense? I don't make sense at all today. Sorry, guys. It's been too long of a vacation. So from that white textured, I'm going to cut and make sure we got 3 1/2. So I'm going to cut my 2 1/2. It kind of doesn't matter from this little scrap, by 3 1/2. What did I just do? I should have cut my 3 1/2 first. So 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. It's a good thing I'm going to do tutorials every day this week almost, because I got to get back in the work of things. So 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. No, I've never had a Fiskars. I've never had one that was, like I said, there are some, if you buy them more expensive, I think, but I just bought a dolly years and years ago. I said I'm not even going to mess with Fiskars. Okay, well that isn't going to, oh it might, nope, that's not going to do it. So we need another one that's pretty good size. It's 3 1/2 by 5 5/8. I will, Tian, I will. it's the first tutorial with being home. And I'm not going to do that in a while. So 5 5/8. Okay. Okay, we need 4. We're going to cut 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Let's see if our little scrappy doodles here will do. Yep. So I can get 1. We want 4. Let me just cut this whole piece 2 1/4 and get those all out at once. I maybe should have measured first. Oh my gosh, you guys, come on. Oh yeah, I do have to get my groove back here because, oh, perfect. Okay, there's my 4. Yeah, my Fiskars all saw the garbage can. They just went. That was 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, 4 of those. And we're almost there, guys. We have a 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. Again, that is a textured piece on your cutting guide. It does not have to be, but if you'd like it to be, that's fine. 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. So I'm just cutting mine all out of my smooth. And then if I find I need more, it will come from there. Okay, so that is my white. There was 18 different cuts. So there's my white. And now let's go ahead and cut the black. There's not quite as many cuts of the black. Okay, I'm going to start with a 3 1/2 by 5 inch piece. So I am going to cut this at 3 1/2 by 5. Again, I'll be using these in the order. So this is actually going to be for page 1. So once again, I'll just turn it upside down. Now we need 4 3 by 4s. And these are going to go in our envelopes pockets. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, wait a minute. Did I reach over and cut that piece of paper? You guys, I think I did. Did I grab that and cut it? Oh gosh, I did. Yeah, I just got the black one. Okay, I'm telling you, I got to pay attention here. So I'll cut that again. It's not a wasted paper, but because I got my 3 by 4s out of there. Okay, well, let's pay attention here. I can't believe I just did that. So we'll cut another one. I'll be more on my game tomorrow, I promise. And let's get our 3.5 by 5 again. That was a practice cut. Now I'll do it right. Okay. That's the craziest thing. This is my do not cut pile. Okay, we need 4 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. We need 4. Again, 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, we have 4 of those. Yeah, cutting these will put us in a good place because we don't want to have to cut these while we're creating our pages. Okay, we need 2 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So we're going to cut 6 1/4. Now I just lift this up here. Now that's the thing, you can see that if you get one of these. It is it's etched in your 6 1/4. It's the only thing I hate about those extended arms. That happens when you extend the arm. It can be hard to find that 6 1/4. But this one isn't, I don't think it's too bad. I can see the white a lot easier than I could see the brown one. And permanent marker did not mark on the brown one because it was brown. Okay, so we have our 2 6 1/4 by 4 1/4, or 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Now we need 2 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. Oh, well, it's already 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. It saved me a cut. Okay, we need a 6 by 12. No, we don't. We've already cut our 6 by 12. So you can cross that out. We already did that one. We're not going to cut another one. So we do not need that 6 by 12 on the list. But we need 4 3 inches by 2 1/4. So 4 3 inches by 2 1/4. Well, we'll go 2 1/4. And one more. 4 of those. Those are going to go with the little white ones that we put on our acrylic or acetate. Two 3x5s. If I can get a hold of this. Now, the thing with this one is I'm going to cut 5 first because I don't have any other small. The rest of them are bigger than 3 1/4. So I want to cut 5. And then I'm going to cut my 2 that are 3x5. And then we can cut let's go with the last one, 5 1/4 by 4 1/4. So I kind of jumped there, but I wanted to use this piece without cutting into another one. So we'll put that there. Now our 3 1/4, which I have this strip. I hope this is 3. No, that's not 3 1/4. Okay. Well, we're going to do a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and we want 2. Okay, I keep grabbing these guys, so we're going to use them. And then our very last one is going to be 4x5. Okay, so we can now put our black there. Now let me show you something. You have these left, but we have not done. Oops, you're going to get run over, puppy. We haven't done this yet. I'm doing the tutorial. So this tutorial just for the shell will be up, should be up tomorrow. I use a piece on the back, so you don't really want to cut into that. And then we use quite a bit of it in here. So we still need that. Don't look at your pile and say, oh my gosh, I have a lot less. Unless you're not going to make this 6x8 album. If you're not going to make it, that's fine. But see, then we have our photo mats all through here. And then I've used it on the back of the waterfall. I used it for matting in here. All this matting. So it's, and there's our little thing again. But so it's important that we use it in, no, we use the white. So it's important that you don't look at that and say, oh my gosh, I have a stack left. Because you don't. You kind of do, but you don't. Not until we do the album, which I should have the tutorial, the recorded, because I recorded that, up for you tomorrow. And then we will do the decorating together live, but I wanted to get the tutorial done so you could at least build your book. And then the same, we have some more here. The same goes for the white. The white is used on the album. And then just in case we may have a few more pieces that we need for inside of our 6x8 binder. Okay, so that is where I'm going to leave you till tomorrow evening. I will have my 6x8 paper pad so that we can do the inside of our book, but we've got our photo mats done. And then the ephemera for this one is super easy. So I won't sort that with you because you only have the one package, and you'll just sort through and go ahead and get out your little embellishments here, and you can get your words. Just separate them like we always do, and you'll see how easy it goes. Super fun, super cute summer album. And I will see you guys tomorrow then at 5:30. I'll be on time. I'll have everything I need from the warehouse because I guess I need to go there and go shopping. Thanks, everybody. And thanks for sticking through with me on my first tutorial back from our crafting cruise. Because I'll tell you, it's like, whoa, I'm still trying to get my groove back. Sweet dreams, everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow evening. Bye-bye.